All right. Well, we thank you so much for joining us a little early today. I appreciate it, but I've got a room full here at Velma Jackson.
Hello, everybody.
And we're recording this for our friends at Germantown and Ridgeland and Rosa Scott as well.
Awesome.
We did get a chance to look at your website, and you're the perfect fit for us right now because we are all four of the schools are all on the same path. But we've gone over the marketing, sales, and service career cluster, and now we're in the business administration. And I know the real estate business really encompasses both of those because we've talked about the importance of sales skills and how difficult it is to run your own business.
Right.
A Black-owned business and what is perceived to be a white-dominated business.
Right.
So I'll let you go ahead and start. We got some great questions for you here coming up. So we'd love to hear what all you got going on and anything you want to share.
Okay, sure. All right. So first of all, everybody, my name is Meshia Edwards, and I'm the broker owner of Community First Real Estate right here in Ridgeland, Mississippi. And I have been in real estate now for 14 years. I've been an entrepreneur for 17 years, so I haven't punched anybody's clock for a long time. So yes, being an entrepreneur is one of those things that is kind of challenging. But you know, with determination, discipline, persistence, it's very possible. And it's true that my profession is real estate. And so real estate, like Mr. Pyga, did I say that correctly?
Good.
Okay, good. Like he stated, it is not one of those businesses where you see a lot of African Americans in that business. But it is one of those businesses that is a very good business opportunity to be involved in. You have wonderful opportunities like I have been presented with today, community involvement, and real estate in a nutshell is nothing more than community service.
Yeah.
And so along with the community service goes the sales and the networking and all of those things. And all of those things in real estate is what actually makes for a success story. So, you know, and starting back, let me give you a little backstory on myself. I graduated in 1997 at Jim Hill High School.
That's where I started my career.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is where I'm from, West Jackson. I was born in Vicksburg, Mississippi, but I was raised in Jackson, Mississippi. So entrepreneurship wasn't something that I saw from day to day. I saw my mom and stepdad go to jobs every single day. I did not know anything about entrepreneurship at all until I got married. And when I got married, my husband's family were entrepreneurs. And so that's where I was introduced at the age of 20. And so I never heard of African-American owning a business. I was like, oh, wow. So y'all are ahead of me. So look, you can do so much greater because you're getting the information so much sooner. So just to tell you a little bit, does everybody know what real estate agents do?
No. They don't. We have a no around the room.
Okay, great. All right. So what real estate is the homes that you see, it's the buildings that you see, and it's the land that you see. And what a real estate agent does is a real estate agent introduces people that would like to purchase those things to that particular property. And so that's how we're paid. We're paid by matching a buyer with a property. So when you see a house and it has a for sale sign in the yard, that's where I come in at. I can help you buy that. So that person is a real estate agent. What I am is a real estate broker. And what that means is I have a little bit more education than a real estate agent, and I can own my real estate company, and I can have real estate agents work for me. So I currently have 11 real estate agents that work for me. And so the way that I'm compensated is through a percentage of their sale, and I'm compensated by what I sell. So that's how a real estate professional is paid. So if you see, and a real estate business is a great business to get into. It's just one of those where you mandate your own time. You work when you want to work. You go on vacations. You do all these things. But as being a business owner, you never have that time to yourself. Because when I go on vacation, I still am conducting business all the time. I'm still managing my office all the time. So like if you work a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, you're going to get Saturday and Sunday off. I work Saturday and Sunday and Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things also about being an entrepreneur that you have to wrap your mind around. Is like, I'm not going to just be working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I'm also going to be working these other hours that I'm mandated to work because I'm the owner.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, a lot of people think they want to be an entrepreneur because they want to be their own boss, but then they
Right.
realize being their own boss involves several jobs a lot of the time.
That's right. I mean, for me, I sell property. So I get out there and I work, I show properties, I manage the agents in my office. So I have to make sure their paperwork and everything is done properly. And then I'm responsible for making sure all the bills are paid at my office. I'm responsible for making sure all my taxes are paid. I'm just responsible. I'm responsible for making sure all of our clients are happy. I'm responsible for marketing my company. So it's so much more than it is. You just think, okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and it's going to work itself out. It's not going to happen like that. You have to market yourself. You have to market your.
And right before you came on, we were looking at a couple of videos, and we looked at your website and the magazine piece on you, and the kids here were really impressed at the way you market yourself. And I was, and I'm the entrepreneur. I have the entrepreneurship program here at the high school, which we'll have you next semester. But it's not just about what you like. You have to. It's like you said, you have to manage your customers and your employees. So keeping both sides happy, because if one or the other is out of sorts, that's what makes the business fall apart.
That's true. That's true. So you have to. So what I do is, a lot of my emphasis go not only to my clients, but it goes to my agents as well. Because your employees, or like real estate agents that work in your office, they're actually self-employed. They're just housed in my office. But I have to make sure they're happy too, because a happy work environment is a healthy work environment. And in order for your business to grow and continue to grow, you have to make sure those people that are in your office are happy. And for clients to continue to send us clients, I have to make sure that those clients are happy. So it's a lot of hats that you wear. When you put on one and you take off one and you put on another one. So it's all the time.
And that's any type of entrepreneur, that even if you own a car shop.
That's true.
It's the same principle.
That's true.
Yeah. Now, can we talk a little bit about how somebody would become a realtor? Because I've actually had a couple of questions about that. And I know, and with my mom being who she is, I've heard the spiel 1,000 times, because I'm the big realtor teacher. But people like you can explain it way better than me, because if somebody asks me, do I have to go to college? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do this? Need to do that? So what if somebody wanted to get into this? How would they go about it?
Well, it's really easy. And that was one of the things that surprised me when I was getting ready to get into it. And the reason I was going to get into it is because my husband was doing mortgages. Okay. And so I saw a lot of interaction with real estate agents. And I was like, man, I really like that profession. I can do that. And so it's one of those things. You only have to be 18 years old. It's not mandatory that you go to college for it. You only have to do, I think it's 60 hours of pre-sales license class through an accredited school. And we have a couple of accredited schools in our area that you can go through. So you basically either do a Zoom or you sit in a classroom. You get 60 hours of the education. You pass the class. Once you pass the class, you can sit for the state exam. Once you pass the state exam, you find a broker such as myself to sign you on to work. And once they sign you on to work, they're saying that you are a great person that will be a great asset to our industry, and that you will get out there and represent clients properly and just go from there. So it's not hard at all. And I was like really, really fascinated. Like, why didn't I know about this profession? Like, I did not know about it until I got 20 something.
Yeah.
I was introduced to it in 2004.
Yeah, and that's interesting you said that, because that's one thing that I always hit on, and I talked about this with them the last time I saw them, is that right now in America, if you can sell something, you can find a job. So it's not about the education aspect is important, you know, having, because I have a master's from LSU, but my sales skills is what got me the job I had when I worked in retail sales. So
wow.
How important is the sales skills in any field, whether you have the education or not?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is, I went to Jim Hill, I graduated, and of course, I went on to Hines to get a 2-year degree. But my degree was in early childhood development. What does that have to do with real estate at all? Absolutely nothing. And truth be told, I am naturally not a salesperson. I am naturally an introverted person. But it's like real estate brought out the absolute best in me. And so what I do know about getting into something that you love, it will bring out the best in you, because it literally brought out another person that I did not even know existed.
Yeah, and they were impressed with your, like I said, they were impressed with your website, the way y'all market, because like you said, the passion that you have for your business shows, because y'all have a different approach of things. You know, y'all have the color coordinated pictures, and you know they all thought that was really cool, because you got the one with the yellow, the one with the blue. But again, that shows a healthy work environment, and that's something that a buyer of anything is really going to be drawn to.
Yeah, it is. And not only a buyer, but other real estate agents. So when they see, naturally a person is gonna go for a healthy work environment when they see, you know, we go out to eat, we have fun together, but also we work together. We have high expectations when it comes to our clients, but we realize, and we call ourselves the community first family. So we realize how important that family, that close knit is, to be close knitted to one another, because not only do we work together, we have like a group me, we talk inside of the group me. So it's not like we're just strictly business.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're real friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, and me and you have talked, you know, I grew up in a realtor household. So I grew up my whole life being around realtors and different brokers and real estate agents. And I can count on one hand the amount of Black agents I met from in that time. So how tough was it to break into that field, being one of the very few in the area?
Tough. Honestly speaking, really tough. It was like, you know, can I name other companies that I've worked with?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I've worked with a small company that in the beginning was CPA Realty. And of course, she was African-American owned. And then
Carla Palmer is she was one of the ones that I was counting.
Yes. Yeah. And then I went over, after working with her for a year, I went over to Century 21 Museo just to get a feel for what it's like to work, you know, with a lot of other people in the business. But one of the things that I was told when I got in the business was, people eat cheese. And I was like, people eat cheese? What in the world does that mean? So the guy that was our marketing guy, he said, if you can create something cheesy, people will remember you. And so I said, okay. So what I did was I created something cheesy. And my cheese was, if there's a sign in the yard, I have the keys. Call ME Meshia Edwards for your real estate needs. So I took my initials and created something around it. And then it was like wildfire. It caught on. Everybody would call me and say, hey, can I speak to me? Nobody knew who I was. And then that cheese created an image for me. And then so that's when the success, it began at that point.
Yeah, and you're right. It's all about creating a niche for yourself. And
Yes, and so you have to create what you want. What you want, you literally have to create it.
that's incredible.
You have to set yourself apart, because right now there are so many realtors out there. And so you have to set yourself apart to make people realize who you are and the way that you do business. And people are going to do business with the people that they know, they like, and they trust.
Absolutely.
So now social media is like one of the greatest platforms to market yourself. It wasn't out there when I started. So now it's like people that's coming in, it's super easy to market yourself.
Yeah, and I love the picture y'all have with the cell phones. It says if the phone's ringing and we're not answering, you're calling the wrong person.
That's right.
Yeah, it's cheesy, but I remember that. You're absolutely right. Yeah, and I will have to show it to him later. But there's a picture of her and her agents, all color coordinated, holding the cell phones, saying if we're not answering the phone, you're calling the wrong person.
That's right.
It's super cool. But I want to get to some of these questions, and these are all ninth graders. So this is all ninth grade students, and these are some fantastic questions.
All right.
The first one is from a Layla Kirkland, who actually already operates her own small business
Layla.
up here in Madison County. But hers is, did anyone not believe you could accomplish your goals?
Oh my God, Layla. Yes. As soon as I entered the real estate industry, the first broker that I interviewed with told me you will not be successful because this industry is in a down market. I came in 2007, and during that time, a lot of people were losing their homes. So for a person just looking, it's a bad time to come into real estate. But I'm one of those people that if you tell me I cannot do something, it's absolutely gonna happen. That is fuel that I need. So absolutely, yes. I had a lot of naysayers.
That's awesome. Now this is Cadence Mosley, and she asked, how long did it take you to realize that you wanted to be in real estate?
It took me maybe about 2 years. My husband had been doing mortgages for a couple of years, and it kind of interests me a little bit. At that point, I was doing credit repair. So we were kind of working hand in hand, but it took me a couple of years to realize that was something that I really wanted to do. Because like I said, I didn't consider myself to be an outgoing person. So I thought it would be really big. It would be really hard for me to get business. So once I made up my mind, then that was it.
That's awesome. This is Jaden Latiker, and he asked, what is the hardest part about your job?
The hardest part is competing with others. You know, because although you have other people that are in the business, you may say you're not in competition, but you are in competition. It's like everybody is competing against one another. And just because you go to somebody's house to put their house on the market, you're competing with somebody else that they possibly met earlier, or somebody that's going to come after you. So you have to make yourself stand out and make them remember you and know why you are the best person for the job. So that is going to be the hardest part of the job for me.
Oh, yeah. This is for Shay Luckett. And you talked about why you got into real estate, but she wants to know why you decided to become an entrepreneur.
It was uncharted territory. It's something that I had never done before. And so I knew that once I matured in my thinking, and once I got into real estate, and I saw, because when I came into real estate, I came in with a 5-year plan, because my husband was already doing his own mortgage company. And I was like, well, shoot, if he could do it, I could do it too. And so I went in with a 5-year plan. I worked with other brokers for a total of 5 years, and then I opened my own. So it was something that I had to make up in my mind that I wanted. If you can make your mind up, you can absolutely do it.
Yeah, and I also think that's a good idea for anybody wanting to get into any business, is working it first before you go all in financially.
Oh, yes. Yes.
In any industry, that's what I've always heard from people in it, say, work in it first, make sure it's for you before you invest thousands and thousands of dollars.
Well, you know, I actually quit my job and started.
Wow.
I went in full-fledged. So I had to succeed. When I went into real estate, I was working with the state. I was making $12,000 a year. Ooh. That is no money. I can make $12,000 on one transaction in real estate.
Yep.
So it's like, I could not believe that I was working for that amount of money. And I had 3 small children at the time.
Wow.
And so it's like, when my eyes opened, it was like, oh no, I'm going all in. I'm going to give it my all. And my only prayer was, Lord, please don't let me have to look back and go back and ask these people for this job back.
Oh man.
I have not done it. And we're in 2021.
That's awesome. This is Serenity Bolden Chester, and she asked, how many houses do y'all move a year?
Oh God. Probably I would say, now this is going to be my first full year with all 11 agents, but by myself, I move about 35 a year.
Wow. So that's about one every other week.
Well, yeah. Because, you have your good months, your down months and all that. Some months you might, like this month, I've only closed 1 thus far, but my team has closed like 5. Last, like maybe 3 weeks ago, I think about 5 of them had a closing in 1 day. And it was, so yeah, so business is going really well.
That's a big payday. And something else we didn't talk about. My friend D Self over at Germantown is going to be watching this later, but she is actually a part-time realtor. So this is D Self. She's teaches the same class over at Germantown High School, and she's a part-time realtor. But this is something you could do part-time if you chose to do so. So there are a lot of people that just sell real estate on the side, and it's not their full-time job. That's
true. And my son is actually in real estate school right now.
That's awesome.
And my kids graduated from Germantown High School.
Yeah. So I'm sure Miss Parks and Miss Self that are going to be seeing this later would be very familiar with both of them, or all 3 of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is Tara Nisha Jackson. She asked, what are some things that helps you grow in your business?
Being myself. Being myself, being relatable, and being caring. Selfish people do not go anywhere.
Oh,
you have to be a giving individual in your business, because if you're not, that means you're holding all the information so tight, nobody can excel but you. And in a business, you don't just want to be the one that's growing. You want everybody under your umbrella to grow. That's the name of the game. You have to freely give and freely you receive.
That's awesome. This is RJ Jones, and he asked, what are the different advantages that you have in being in your current position?
The different advantages is, well, I get to say what you can and cannot do, what my agents can and cannot do. I get to make additional income when just a regular real estate agent is only making their commission. I get to set how much money off of their transaction I make. So real estate is all about splits. And when I say splits, say for instance, you sell my company, and I'm not going to get into commissions because that's one thing we can't really get into. Yeah. But say for instance, you sell a $100,000 house. Yep. And my office, if we charge you 6%, that means we have a check coming for $6,000. Yep. I can determine how much of that $6,000 you're going to get, and how much I get. So I get to set my own payday. And I get to say what can and cannot be done from my office. Those are some of my advantages.
Yeah, and that, yeah, it's like you said, at the end of the day, you're putting your reputation on it, you're putting your name on it, but there's a lot of positives that come out of that.
Mm-hmm, it is. And see, some of the advantages too for working with a reputable person is if you've established a reputation within the community, then anybody that sees an agent that you hire, they know that that person is likely a very good person because they trust your judgment, because you have already established a name within the industry.
Yeah, because I see one of your agents at church every Sunday, so I know she has a reputable name.
Yeah. Now, who was that?
Virgie.
Oh. yes, Virgie is awesome. Yes.
Yeah. So again, that's a perfect example of somebody that's well known in the community. A former teacher. We were coworkers at Jim Hill, and now
Okay.
I see her at church every Sunday. So she obviously has a well known reputation. And when she first signed on with you, that's what she talked about was the atmosphere you guys had and how excited she was about that. So I definitely think that plays to your advantage. Now, and we're almost out of time, and I know you're super busy, and we appreciate you making some time for us. But one thing that I have to ask is that, like everybody else in this room, you grew up in Jackson, Black, in the same obstacles that they're going to face growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they have no desire to ever be in real estate, ever be an entrepreneur, what can they do to overcome those same obstacles you face to be as successful as you become?
Well, hey, I keep God in everything I do. So first and foremost, your relationship with God is so important. Your prayer life is so important. So those are something, every decision that you are considering, every job that you would consider, I would say, pray about it. Know who you are as an individual and what you bring to the table. Just because one person is an entrepreneur, that doesn't mean you have to be an entrepreneur. My daughter is a nurse. She's not going into real estate. She's going to work for an individual. Her calling is nurturing people. Know what you have on the inside of you.
Absolutely.
What is your passion? What gives you the utmost joy when you think about it? Now, I had a boutique. I've always wanted to have a boutique, a clothing boutique. Well, I did it. It wasn't for me, but I tried it. That was something, but you have to think about those things that are in you that you love, like a person that loves to write. Why is it that you love to write? You might need to cultivate that. Why do you love taking care of people? You a nurturer. You love loving on people. That's not me. Me, I like helping people. I like helping people make their dreams come true. As a child, I never saw home ownership. I thought only people that didn't look like me owned homes until, my aunt, she owned a home. I knew that she owned it, but I thought she was rich. I thought everybody had money. Only rich people owned homes. Well, when I grew up, I found that not to be true. And that's where I come in at. I help people realize that it's very possible for home ownership, even if you're not rich. As long as you manage your money, as long as you set your goals, set your expectations, you can do absolutely whatever you want to do. And real estate is one part of it. There are so many things associated with real estate that you can do that does not qualify. I mean, you don't have to have a college education. There's home inspectors, there's appraisers, there's what else do you have? Termite inspectors. I mean, there are so many things. My son is one of those. He didn't like school. So he went back and he got an electrical trade. So he works as an electrician and makes great money. But he was one of those people didn't want to go to school. And now he's in real estate school because he grew up around it and he knows what it's like. He knows the possibility. But I would say for you, learn what's on the inside of you. What makes you happy? Normally those things that are inside of us that makes us happy, those are little indications from God what we need to be moving towards. So find that it that's within you and move toward it, because it's very possible. I came from Jackson didn't mean I had to live a certain kind of way, and neither do you. You don't have to, what we call a product of our environment. I'm not a product of my environment. I walk to school, walk straight past drug dealers. I mean, all kind of things.
Yeah. I taught down there, and they don't believe all the stuff that I saw just in the time I was working down there. It's quite eye-opening. Yeah.
And that was in 96, 95, 96. I remember walking to school, passing gang activity, passing drug deals and all kind of stuff. But you have to be focused. just because all these things are going on around you does not mean you have to be a part of it. You can always be that one that stand out like a sore thumb, because now my classmates be like, "Dog, she doing it." That's because I wasn't in there. I was never one of the popular kids, never. And I was not one of the ones that was on the AB honor roll either. But it's okay.
But some of the best salespeople are not the best students.
Right. I mean, I wasn't the worst. I made some bad choices in high school. I graduated a year late because I made bad choices. One year I just was lollygagging, was leaving school, was doing all kind of things. But it's just when I became an adult, when I had my children, my youngest, I think I had my kids are 2 years apart. Right now they're 24, 22, and 20. But I had my first one when I was 20. So I had a child at 20, 22, and 24. And it's their ages now. I never noticed that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I never noticed that. But it was hard because I was a young mom, but I knew that I had to make a life for those 3 children. And so that was part of my driving force too. I had to make a life for those.
That's awesome. And you have a heck of a story. I mean, and it's like I say, you know, just because you're the first at something doesn't mean you can't be the best at something.
That's right.
And you guys are just industry shakers. And I hope that hopefully they'll call you with some real estate needs, but hopefully they got something out of this today. And we thank you so much for making time for us. I know you're one of the busiest women in real estate. And I'm sure you'll have some dealings with my mother soon. So I know, because she's a hustler just like you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the opportunity. It's always been since I got in real estate, it's been one of my dreams to get before students and talk to them about what I do, to let them know that the possibility is there. It's very possible.
Yeah,
no
and about 1,000 students are going to see this, are going to see this recording at all the high schools. So
awesome. Well, do you mind sending me a copy?
Oh, sure. It's all recorded. As soon as I get this downloaded, I'll send it to you.
Okay. I appreciate it. Y'all take care. Be blessed. And hey, look on the inside. Find it.
That's awesome. All right. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right. Bye-bye.
See ya.